Morning, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Monday Movie Memo, where we like to start off your week with a bit of knowledge from things that have happened over the weekend and maybe look ahead to some of the things that you want to know as you head into your movie week. And we have to start with the record number set by Ride Along, which was the number one movie at the box office. And as you probably know, it stars Ice Cube and Kevin Hart in the latest edition of the buddy cop formula that Hollywood is cranking out. Ice Cube playing a police officer who takes his potential brother-in-law on a ride-along. The brother-in-law played by Kevin Hart, and of course they're polar opposites who don't work well together. But that formula, as we know, works very, very well at the box office. According to the early statistics, Ride Along opened to $41.2 million. That is good enough for the all-time highest January opening. It's the biggest opening of Kevin Hart's career by far. He had $33.6 million for Think Like a Man a few years back. And it's by far the biggest opening of Ice Cube's career, too, of his film career. Even Barbershop 2, which was a sequel to the very successful Barbershop movie that he opened, only did $24.2 million in its opening weekend back in 2004. So this is a huge hit for both men. It's a huge hit for Universal. It's a huge hit for Hollywood in January. Because as a lot of you guys have been saying in the comment section, January just feels like a dumping ground. I mean, we haven't had a lot to celebrate so far with The Legend of Hercules and, we have I, Frankenstein coming up, and these films don't look that great. And so for Ride Along to drop and to dominate the marketplace when Paramount was hoping to launch the Jack Ryan franchise and, families had the nut job to choose from, for Ride Along to just dominate like this, I think says that we are seeing the launch of a franchise. We're going to get to that in a second. I also think that it speaks to just the popularity of the buddy cop formula, and it makes me wonder why Hollywood doesn't do more of these in general. Excuse me. Go back just to last year, where Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, of all people, launched an action movie, a potential action franchise in The Heat, which made $159.5 million over its domestic run. Producers already are talking about getting those two back together for a sequel. Very surprising, because even though they're respected actresses in their own right, you would not put them together for a buddy cop formula. 21 Jump Street, not your traditional buddy cop formula, but still very successful, $138.4 million. I'm even going to lump the Sherlock Holmes movies, they're period films, but they follow the give and take of the buddy cop formula, putting Robert Downey Jr. versus Jude Law. The second one made $186.8 million. I mean, it's a proven franchise. It's a proven formula. You put these two polar opposites together, you put them on an adventure, you weave a few action sequences throughout the course of their adventure, and you sit back and watch the money flow in. I mean, I think Ride Along sort of proves this point in addition. Getting out to a $41.2 million start is huge for a movie like this. The fact that it only has I, Frankenstein and maybe that awkward moment to contend with the next 2 weeks means that Ride Along could do very, very well over the next, over the course of the rest of this month. It could be over the 100 million mark before we even get to February, and that's unbelievable for a January release. I think Hollywood needs to be making more of these buddy cop formula films. I think they need to be looking for pairs of actors that work well together in the formula of finding characters that don't fit too well together, because it's so easy to launch a franchise this way. We already know that 22 Jump Street is coming out. We know that producers for The Heat are looking to do another film in that series already. Robert Downey Jr. says he'd love to do a third Sherlock. They're always trying to reboot things like Tango and Cash, or they flirt with doing Lethal Weapon 5 anytime Mel Gibson has a PR snafu and has to sort of appease his fans. And if you look at the link down below our video, I let you know that back in April we reported that the producers for Ride Along actually want to do a Ride Along sequel, and they were just talking about whether the first one's going to make enough money to potentially greenlight that. So I think that question's been answered. Hollywood, get to work on these buddy cop formulas, because audiences are proving that they're going to turn out for them. And Ice Cube and Kevin Hart, congratulations, because you have a franchise on your hands. Kevin Hart, that has to feel really good for the producers of the films that Kevin Hart has coming up. He's at least going to be in About Last Night. Seems like he has a movie coming out every couple of weeks this 2014. And Ice Cube picks and chooses his moments. Maybe that's why it works really well, because when he finally does put a movie out, his fans tend to show up and give him support. So Ride Along is a huge hit. It seemed to have a lot of appeal to a lot of different demographics. I think we're going to see sequel news coming from it very soon. But for right now, it's the highest grossing January opening of all time. time. Congratulations to you guys, and let's see some more buddy cop formulas out of Hollywood very soon.